Picture a meticulously planned metropolis. The streets are pristine, the skyline is crowded with glass, and per capita wealth outpaces most of the developed world. Yet this country sits on exactly zero oil reserves. It has no gold mines. It doesn't even have enough farmland to feed its own citizens. In 1965, the reality was starkly different. Singapore had just separated from Malaysia, suddenly finding itself as an independent island with high unemployment, severe housing shortages, and no domestic market to fall back on. Global economists looking at the data reached a uniform conclusion: the newly minted nation was structurally unviable. Today, that unviable island operates one of the most advanced international airports on Earth, complete with a massive indoor waterfall surrounded by a terraced forest. Singapore's leaders spent decades engineering a specific set of mechanisms designed to extract value from the global trade network. This map shows the primary arteries of global commerce. Notice how the dominant shipping routes carrying goods between European factories, Middle Eastern energy producers, and Asian consumer markets all converge. They all funnel into a single narrow physical bottleneck, the Strait of Malacca. Every year, trillions of dollars worth of cargo flows through this tight corridor. That includes everything from raw crude oil to advanced electronics and everyday consumer products. Lacking a large domestic market to sell products to, the government looked at the constant traffic in the strait and calculated that providing the services these ships needed, from refueling to cargo management, could replace the need for a traditional domestic economy. But geography provides only a raw opportunity. Sitting next to a busy trade route yields nothing if a country lacks the internal systems to actually service those ships and process that incoming capital. Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew understood that to build a premier logistics hub, the nation's administrative standards had to be flawless. Foreign corporations typically hesitate to invest heavily in newly independent developing nations due to the risks of arbitrary laws, political instability, and deeply entrenched bribery. To eliminate those risks, the government executed aggressive anti-corruption purges and heavily strengthened its legal institutions, ensuring that business contracts would be strictly enforced without interference. Simultaneously, massive public funds were directed into the education system, intentionally forging a highly skilled English-speaking workforce capable of managing complex financial and technical operations. They were manufacturing the single most valuable asset a government can offer to international markets: absolute predictability. That engineered stability worked. Western and Asian corporations confidently poured billions of dollars into the economy, setting up regional headquarters and securing Singapore's place on the global financial map. The capital flowing into the country was immediately routed into building enormous, ultra-efficient physical infrastructure, like heavily automated container terminals. Think of it like a major international airport. Even if most passengers are just transferring planes and never actually leave the terminal, the airport still generates massive revenue through landing fees, logistics, and retail. The exact same principle applies to maritime cargo. This created a powerful compounding effect. World-class ports attracted larger shipping volumes, which generated more revenue, which was then heavily reinvested into even more advanced technological facilities. By continuously upgrading its physical hardware, Singapore cemented its position as the ultimate global middleman, leaving potential regional competitors far behind. Today, this tiny island operates as a critical load-bearing pillar in the global economy, physically linking Eastern manufacturing centers with consumer bases in the West. This diagram maps out that global dependency. If Singapore's logistical network were to suddenly go offline, the disruption would cause immediate cascading supply chain failures across North America and Europe. This reality forces us to reconsider what makes a nation wealthy. True economic security doesn't necessarily come from winning the geographic lottery and sitting on massive reserves of fossil fuels or precious metals. A highly optimized location, paired with the strict rule of law and decades of rigorous long-term planning, has proven more lucrative than any single natural resource. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Which nation do you think has the most impressive economic success story? Singapore, South Korea, or the United Arab Emirates? Let me know in the comments below and subscribe for more investigations into the global systems that shape our world.